to these latest killings, at least 84 people in Gaza. Is this more evidence of aid sites being targeted as civilians try to access help?
Well, we have seen and we continue to see people coming to the Red Cross Field Hospital in Rafah who report to us that they're coming from food distribution sites. And these are people that are showing up. Some, unfortunately and tragically, show up dead. Many others show up with gunshot wounds. And I think what this does, it tells us, is it speaks to the level of desperation in Gaza right now, that people are so desperate for food, that hunger is so pervasive, that they're still going to distribution sites knowing full well the risks that entails. We're struggling a little bit to come up with words to describe the situation, but I can certainly call it catastrophic. We see throughout Gaza extreme levels of hunger. My colleagues this morning were talking to me just about the level of desperation that they themselves feel, but also that they hear from the people when they come to the office, when they move around, the measures people need to take just to find some food for the day. It's truly heartbreaking. It's very, very troubling. And so the desperation level that we see at the field hospital, that we see as we move around Gaza, that our colleagues report back to us is really extreme.
Absolutely. It is very difficult to come up with the adequate words, as you say. If there is one urgent message today that the ICRC wants to get out, what is the ICR calling for in terms of the safety of civilians and humanitarian personnel?
Well, we have suffered from the ICRC ourselves. We've lost colleagues. We've had a colleague injured recently. Our partners, the Palestine Red Crescent, have lost many colleagues. So even the humanitarian personnel, even the medical personnel are feeling increasingly unsafe. And this speaks to the lack of safety for the civilian population as a whole. Protection is the most fundamental human need, and nowhere in Gaza is safe right now. And we can see that on a daily basis, that people are really struggling even to just find a safe place to shelter. Today, another evacuation order came in, and people are forced to move once again after having moved many and many times before, leaving behind their basic goods that they have left. And in this constant search for safety, they're exhausted. There is no food. Access to clean water is very, very difficult, and it's hot out. And so the situation is desperate. What we have said at the ICRC is, first and foremost, we need a cessation of hostilities. We saw in the period from January to March that when the cessation of hostilities, when the ceasefire happened, people were able to have a respite from this desperation. People were able to go back to their homes. They were able to find food. They were able to recover, not just physically, but emotionally and psychologically. The constant toll of this violence that it has on people is extreme. And so first and foremost, we've said that we need to have this cessation of hostilities, but we also saw in an agreement, when the ceasefire agreement happened, that it really brought not just basic goods, but it brought hope to people, to Gazans, to civilians who are struggling in this conflict, but also to hostages who were released and to their families who were able to close that very, very difficult chapter. So we've called for a cessation of hostilities. Even in the absence of that, though, we're also calling for a rapid, immediate influx of basic goods into Gaza. The situation is so dire. We need so much more food. We need medical equipment. We need supplies. We need the bits and bobs to fix the infrastructure system, to make sure that the water system can work and people can have access to clean water. And that has to happen independent of everything else. It's a core humanitarian responsibility.
Yes, Jacob, I'm afraid we'll have to leave it there, but thank you so much for speaking with us today. Jacob Kurtz from the ICRC. Many thanks. Moving on to other news now, and Typhoon Weeper has made landfall in southern China's Taishan, a coastal city of Guangdong, bringing torrential rain and strong gales. Hundreds of